Today, we kick off the Lunar New Year celebration period. Now, that depends on when you're watching this episode, but the Lunar New Year celebration period kicks off on February 17th, which is a new moon, and it goes until the next full moon, which is on March 3rd. So you really have from now until the end of February to do some space clearing, to do some energetic grounding, both at home, with your body, all the things. This is a great time to clear your home as we enter a new year, to clear out the old and to welcome in what's new or what we're calling in. I think that space clearing at this time of year is essential, not just because we're transitioning to a new year, but we're also transitioning seasonally from winter to spring, from yin energy to yang energy. So there's all of this energetic swirl happening, right? And so we don't want to get caught up in the swirl. We really want to let out the stagnant and the old, welcome in the new. So I'm going to walk you through my personal space clearing practice. I also have a space clearing kit that I'm going to share with you. So last week I held a Lunar New Year gathering for the members in my seasonal alignment practice. And I shared with them, just the energetic shift, what's happening numerologically. We talked about how we're leaving behind the wood snake and what to expect with the fire horse. We talked about eclipse season. We have an eclipse during this lunation period, this Lunar New Year period of intense eclipse energy. And I think we can already feel that, right? So I talked about a lot of this just this past Sunday. We also closed that workshop with a vision boarding practice where we use our home's floor plan, or if you're familiar, the bagua, to create vision boards and to set our intentions. And we did that together in community. It was really a lot of fun, very engaging conversation and practice. So I want to extend an offer for anyone who would like that recording. You can find a link in today's show notes to go ahead and check that out. I'm only leaving the replay up for a week, so you only have until February 23rd to request access. It also offers a glimpse into my seasonal alignment practice. So if you are curious about what that looks like, this offers you an opportunity to come and see what goes on in some of our monthly workshops, who are the women there, all of the things. So check that out. Today, we're going to talk about space clearing, which is something I also talked about in the workshop. As I already mentioned, space clearing at the Lunar New Year cycle is an amazing, if not essential, time to clear your space. But you can also space clear in between any seasonal shift. So like I mentioned, we're moving from winter to spring. You might want to do it again as we transition from, summer to fall. Anytime someone's been sick in the household, a space clearing would be beneficial. If you are purchasing a new home, before you move into it, a space clearing is a great thing to do. Anytime there's been a little emotional heaviness, right? An argument with your partner or your child, or you had a guest that rubbed you the wrong way, or they just had sour energy and you need to clear that energy, space clear your home. It doesn't have to be the entire home. It can just be a room, especially like an illness. If it was a child, just space clearing the room could be enough. So I'm going to walk you through my actual practice, and I have simplified it into 4 steps. I want this practice to be simple, calm, just, easy to implement, easy to understand, because there's a lot of different ways you can space clear. A lot of indigenous traditions and cultures, those connected to the earth, have practiced space clearing for thousands of years. And if you want a deep dive on the art of space clearing, I highly recommend Denise Linn's book, Sacred Space, which is where to me, this was like a study guide. So that's a book to check out if you want a deeper dive. But for today's purpose, I just want to share a more simpler way to use this method so that this is just an easy process for you. Today, the most common way to space clear is with sage smudging or other sort of smoke. Some people like to use incense or Palo Santo, even sweetgrass. I've never used sweetgrass for smudging or clearing, but more of an invocation because I just love the smell. But you can also use sound, which is actually my preferred method, and salt. Salt is another purification method that you can use, right? Because salt is a natural detoxifier. The way it draws energy out from your body, it literally does the same thing with your home. Some people might put salt in the four corners of a room or the four corners of their home, leave it overnight, throw away the salt. I've seen people sprinkle the perimeters of their room or home, same thing, and then sweep it up in the morning, almost like you're sweeping away the stagnant energy. So like I said, I like to use sound, and so that's what I'm going to share with you today. I think that sound is simple, it is safe, right? Just know that you're going to find your own practice that you prefer, and I think that that's perfect. There's no right or wrong way to do this. I think that clearing your space is a very intuitive and emotional connection that you have with your home. So just feel into it, try different modalities, see what feels good, and maybe you start with this one if you've never done it before. So the first step is to prepare your space. That's always the first step, right? Maybe a little bit of decluttering, a little bit of cleaning. You can decide how in-depth you want to do that. How much decluttering do you want to tackle? How deeply do you want to clean? I don't think it really matters. It's just really more about taking the time to clean it up, kind of give it a bath, if you will, right before you dress it up with its new energy. It's also recommended that you prepare yourself. So you want to space clear at a time when I like to be alone. I don't really like to do it when there's a lot of other people moving around in the house. I like to do it alone. When I'm in a good mood, when I have the energy, I'm not feeling unwell. I have very clear intentions about what I'm calling in this year, because your intentions are the most important part of the whole process. The only reason you're doing a space clearing is, yes, to, let out old stagnant energy, but you have to call it back in. Your intention is really everything. So have a clear intention for your clearing session, even if it's just letting go of last year's heavy energy and calling in health and wellness and happiness for this year. It can be very simply and broadly stated, or it can be very clear and concise. And then the second step is to purify. So you're going to want to clear yourself first. I mean, like I said, you want to be in a good mood, you want to feel uplifted, but then I like to actually clear the energy of my body. Like I said, use sound. I actually use these little tingsha bells here. If you're watching on YouTube, I have them up. They just make a nice little tin, okay? I start at the bottom of my feet, and I just sort of work my way up the body to just above my head. And again, use your intuition here. You might want to stop at each of the chakras if you're familiar with the chakras. You might feel you need to stay a little longer at your sacral chakra. Just feel into it. And then once your body feels clear and uplifted, then you can move to the home. Now, I start at my front door and I just work my way around the perimeter of the home. I like to go left to right, and I just stop in room by room, paying attention to closets, behind furniture, any dark corners, unused spaces. Just make sure you hit every area of the home. And again, this is for a New Year space clearing, but this, if you're just clearing a room, the same thing applies. Just start at the door, work your way around the perimeter, dark corners, closets, all the things. Get a little bit of sound wave energy if you're using sound. You can use smudge sticks. I don't love the safety of them. I mean, fire and smoke definitely purifies a space. I personally just don't like using fire or smoke. Okay, so after you've cleared the space, I like to end at the center of my home And then once I'm there, the center of the home, again, if you're not familiar, is the health and wellness center. Remember, nothing in our life is going to feel in alignment if our health is not well. So I like to end here, and this is where I like to invoke the space. This is when you call in what it is you're asking for. And you can invoke the space or seal your invocation by burning a candle or a stick of incense. This here is my signature candle, which I haven't even introduced to you all yet, but it is called Old Soul. I'll talk about it in a minute. But you invoke the space with lighting a candle, maybe saying a prayer, maybe using a mantra or something that culturally, spiritually, religiously even aligns with you. And then the last step is to preserve the space. Now, some people leave out this step. I like this step because I like to be reminded of my intentions. That's really at the heart of a seasonal alignment practice that, my monthly community is to bring ourselves back to the intentions that we set rather than forgetting about them, losing sight of them, out of sight, out of mind. I use something to anchor my intention, to draw my attention to it all throughout the year. So this can be something like your favorite crystals, any decor items that have meaning to you. It could even be fresh flowers, new plants, right? Anything that's going to remind you of the intentions you set for the new year. So I like to use a faceted crystal ball, sometimes called a feng shui crystal ball. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm showing you guys there. To me, this is like a subconscious reminder. I will place mine at the beginning of the new year somewhere in my home so that it is in alignment with my intentions. So for this year, I'm calling in more visibility with my work and steady growth rather than speedy growth. I want to connect to my purpose through aligned passions and pursuing those passions. So I would hang this in my fame section of my home, which is actually right behind me in the living room here. So I'll probably hang this in the window where the light can catch it. And whenever I see the light coming through, refracting it, it's just like that gentle little reminder of, oh, yes, remember to remain visible. So that's the way you can use these 4 steps to do a very simple space clearing. It can take you as little as 10 minutes to, as long as you want it to be. Sometimes I like to put on music. I've even created a space clearing playlist that I play as I'm moving through the home. So this is my personal practice, and I've put all the tools you need together in a little kit. It is my Sacred Space Clearing Kit. You can find it on my website at jadescottdesign.com. And in the kit, you get a set of tingsha bells, you get the Old Soul candle, and you get the faceted crystal ball. Okay? Now, the Old Soul candle, I want to come back to it because I haven't really announced it yet. This has been many years in the making. I have wanted to have my own signature candle for so long, and I'll spare you the lengthy storyline, but basically it started, I worked with a candle pourer, it went sideways, I moved for 2 years and just didn't have the time, energy, or resources to really continue with this, but last year, I worked really hard on this candle and found a new supplier and a candle pourer, and I'm now finally happy with it enough to put it out into the world. So this candle, Old Soul, I guarantee you it's not a scent you've smelled before, but it's familiar. It's very warm and earthy, and it's intentionally done that way. It makes you want to pause and smell it and invite stillness and reflection. All the qualities of an Old Soul. It's like this familiar scent, but you can't quite name what it is. That was really the goal with the scent. So I hope y'all buy it because I really am curious on feedback because I'm obsessed with it. Whenever I walk into my house, I'm like, oh, it smells so good in here. Anyone who comes over says the same thing. So I really do believe that this will become your home's new signature scent. So anyway, the Sacred Space Kit you can find on my website. I did today's episode so you know exactly how to use it, and I hope that you do. Now, the Lunar New Year, as I said, essential time to clear your home so that your home becomes a vessel for your intentions, your seeds, your dreams, your goals, all to come forward, right? It's like you're literally clearing the way for whatever it is you're calling in. And that is the point of clearing space in your home. This kit can be used in between seasons, as I mentioned earlier in the episode, so it's useful all year long. Now, if you're interested in purchasing the kit, you can purchase that, like I said, at my website, jadescottdesign.com. And for a very limited time, until the 23rd, anyone who purchased the kit will receive the recording of the Lunar New Year gathering for free. If you aren't interested in the kit, but you are interested in the recording, you can also purchase that on its own, and that is $27. So that is it. That's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that you clear your home and that all of your wishes and dreams and desires, they all come to fruition, but they're not going to find their way to you if there is too much stagnant energy blocking it. So clear your homes, my friends. That's it. So much love to you. Until next time.